Hello, YouTubers. This is Tia from Musings of a Mystic, and I'm back with another pick a card reading. Today's question is, what toxic pattern is ruining your life right now? What toxic pattern is ruining your life right now? Alright, this is deck number 1, deck number 2, deck number 3. Number 1 is Rich Witch. Number 2 is Lover Return. And number 3 is Louisiana Van oil. While you were choosing your pile, I will say thank you so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate that you guys watch. It really helps me to stay motivated and make more videos. If nobody was watching, I wouldn't make videos, you know, no motivation and stuff like that. I also thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing, tipping, and donating, and commenting. Those things also help me stay motivated. If you need a personal read, you can check out, go down there to, sorry, my family's in the background. You can check out or go to my email, and I can get on a reading for you. Probably in about, you get yours probably in about 2 days. Is there anything else? You can get these oils in my shop. My link is down there somewhere for that too as well. Alright, so number 1, number 2, and number 3. If you guys need more time, just pause the video, and I'll be here when you get back, okay? Right, so number 1, the Rich Witch. What toxic pattern is ruining your life right now? Please remember, these are not personal readings and will not resonate with everyone, and that's okay. No big deal. Just means the message is for somebody else today. If you need a personal reading that only resonates with you, you can pop over to my email. Find the link thingy down there. Email me and I can get on the on that for you. We'll have 2 days free gift reading right now. One more time. What toxic pattern is ruining your life right now? And the Justice card. Alright, so you got the Justice card at the bottom of the deck, which is kind of like the base of the reading, kind of like what everything is relating back to, and it seems like there's a sense of not having the balance that you need to really do what you need to do. And you might also be, I'm getting some of you guys are self-sabotaging. You got the High Priestess, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. So it looks like you actually have had or do have lots of opportunities to kind of do, what you want to do to reach your goals. But it seems like your toxic pattern, and this is an intuitive thing, is that you self-sabotage. You might get to a certain point and you're like, I'm almost to the end. And then you allow yourself to get distracted. And that is totally an intuitive read. These cards wouldn't necessarily say that if I was just reading the traditional meaning from the card. But what I'm getting intuitively is that you guys are self-sabotagers, and you kind of need to figure out a way not to do that to yourself. I understand it because I came from a long line of people who sabotage themselves. It's like, good things come to you and you kind of look at them and I'm looking at her. She's looking back at these opportunities. These are the good things that are kind of happening for her, the good things that come toward her, and she's looking at them like, I don't know. These look like good things. These look like things that I could possibly do, to help myself out. But, she's not really accepting them. Her hands are full here. Her hands are full. She's just kind of sitting there staring at them, and she's like, her hands are full, so she can't really accept anything. So what it feels like is your toxic pattern is seeing good opportunities and seeing things coming towards you, and you're like, I don't deserve these good things. And I feel like it's a thing that kind of It's been a long pattern for you since childhood. After you started walking and then realized that you can interface with this world. Maybe you had people who told you couldn't do things, or that you shouldn't shoot so high. You should just leave good enough alone and try not to be, the best. You just have to be good enough to basically do the bare minimum, and that's it. And that might have been a message that you got when you were a child. And to me, that's the worst thing you can do to a child, because those are the kids that, if they accept that message, they end up being the people who have all of this good potential. These aces also signify potential. These are things that you could do. You have all of this potential that you could reach out and grab, but you don't do it because, fear or programming or, not secrets, but things that you've hidden from yourself. Things that kind of happened in your childhood that you are hiding from yourself. This card is about, things that are hidden, things that you don't know. You might not realize that you have the potential to do so much more than you are doing, but right now, that toxic pattern is that you have the potential, you have the tools, but you don't believe that. Maybe you don't believe people will listen to you. Maybe you don't believe people will love you. Maybe you don't believe that, insert the blank, insert, comment here. It just seems like this is definitely like a long-standing thing that you probably picked up from childhood, and it's self-sabotage and probably also low self-esteem. That's the pattern. It's not fair. I'm getting from the Justice card. I kept looking at it and it kept looking at me. And it's like, this is something that is just not fair. Because it's like people... I think this is Osiris, I believe. Or whatever the dog-headed god's name is. I believe he was the one that weighs your soul against a feather to see if you get to go on to the happy afterlife or the not so happy afterlife. And it's like people already judged you and you accepted their judgment as fact, and now you're like, I don't deserve to have good things come to me, so I'm going to sabotage all of my opportunities so I don't have anything, and that's not fair. And you might have to do some deep healing work on yourself so that you can release those patterns that are basically keeping you from all the good things in your life that you could have, because believe me, there is always a person out there for everyone. There's always an opportunity out there somewhere. You just have to look in the right place. Alright, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tip, and donate. Comment below as well. Pop over to my shop and see what kind of oils I've got. And if you need more clarification, or if you need help trying to figure out like how you can let go of this behavior, you can contact me. I can give you a reading. You can probably get in about 2 days. All right, pile number 2. What behavior is ruining your life right now? Or what is it? Behavior? What pattern? What pattern is ruining your life right now? Please remember, this is the Nine of Wands. We'll see if it goes with that again. Please remember that for some of you, paranoia is a pattern that is ruining your life right now. Please remember, these are not personal readings and will not resonate with everyone, and that is okay. No big deal. Just means that the message is for somebody else right now. The Lover's card came out. If you need a personal reading that only resonates with you, or if you need more clarity on this particular reading, or advice from the cards about how to let go of this pattern, you can contact me through email. Alright. Eight of Swords. I'm sorry, Wands. My fault. Six of Wands. Five of Pentacles, and the Nine wanted to come out, so there it is. This looks like a story where when you were younger, you know, things were kind of going your way. You won, you know, battles, maybe not actual battles, but you were victorious, and then something happened and you felt abandoned and left out in the cold. Maybe you get kicked out of your house, maybe somebody like your parent abandoned you, because what it looks like is somebody's dad going off to war, or somebody's dad coming back from war, or somebody's dad. It just looks like this person's leaving, and this child here, this person, this male is bestowing this wreath of olive leaves onto this person's head. I'm seeing this as like a parent who is kind of leaving, and that might have made you feel, you know, abandoned and left out in the cold. Might made you feel like nobody cares, or maybe it's like one of the most important people in your life just kind of abandoned you, and now you've got this behavior where you are very paranoid about everything. Look at this guy's head. It looks like he got hit or something. And these two, all three of these cards are kind of speaking of war or battles, you know, things happening very fast. It just looks like there was a battle that was fought, and this person right here, even though they're still holding on, they are basically, they haven't won. They're like, they feel like a loser. Maybe you had somebody taken from you, and then you kind of got to a place where you're hyper vigilant. This card always speaks of hyper vigilance to me, which means that you're always like looking for danger. You're looking for the danger. Maybe you just don't feel safe, and you might do things to make yourself feel safe that are not things that serve you. Kind of like avoiding people, avoiding crowds, avoiding whatever made you feel this way in the first place. So that could be relationships, that could be certain types of people, that could be certain types of situations. It's like it's all to avoid going back to the same place that you were in before. And it feels like whatever it was that happened very fast. This is the Eight of Wands. You can talk about messages, you can talk about things happen very fast. You can see, somebody out there had a very difficult time where, you know, one maybe a parent left and something happened to them and they never came back because they unfortunately passed away unexpectedly. Hopefully that didn't happen to you, but unfortunately it does happen to some people, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not your fault. It just is a thing that happens sometimes, you know. And I can understand that. I'm one of the children from the 90s was raised in a single parent home. My dad just kind of disappeared. I didn't know where he went. So I kind of identify with this, and I understand that's something that you experienced when you were a child, and now you're kind of in a place where you're kind of like always on guard and having a hard time relaxing. You might have like an anxiety disorder or something like that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice, but this is kind of what I'm picking up from these cards. Something unexpected happened. Things were going well, and then like one of the other shoe dropped basically, and then you ended up in this energy where you felt very abandoned and unsafe, and now your pattern is that you are always looking for the danger, and you might not allow yourself to get close to people, which can ruin your life, because people are not meant to be, you know, on their own and isolated all the time. People are very social creatures. We're very social animals, and you might not realize it, but if you put walls between you and other people, even this man standing here who looks like a friend this person is looking at this person with suspicion. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you an enemy? Are you gonna hurt me? Like, what's going on here? And that pattern might cause you to push people away, and then you're alone, and you don't have a good support system, first of all. So when things happen and you need help, you don't have people you can go to. And you also kind of have a lonely life. You know, you don't have people around who can satisfy your need for socializing. That's totally grammatically correct, isn't it? But anyway, your negative pattern seems to be hypervigilance, maybe pushing people away before they can hurt you. And that can ruin your life because you don't have the support system you need, and you also don't fulfill your need to socialize. Alright guys, if you need more clarity on this reading, or if you want a reading to see how you could possibly stop doing this negative pattern, then you can contact me for a reading. Also, pop over to my shop to see what kind of awesome crystals I have there, what kind of awesome oils, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tip, and donate, and comment. All those things help me to stay motivated so that I can keep making these videos for you guys. Alright, deck number 3. This is going to be a quick reading. Louisiana Van Van. Louisiana Van Van. I've never tried any other kind of Van Van oil, to be honest, so I don't know if the other types of Van Van oil are, you know, better or worse. I just know that I like Louisiana Van Van. So, what negative pattern is ruining your life? Or what pattern in general is ruining your life? I feel like if it's ruining your life, it is a negative pattern. Please remember, these are not general readings and will not resonate with everyone, and that's fine. No big deal. It just means that the message is for someone else today. If you need a personal reading that only resonates with you, you can pop over to you can get my email from down there and contact me. You can probably get your reading within 2 days at this moment in time, which is July 2019. Negative pattern is ruining the seeker's life. Bottom of the deck is the Strength card. I'm already getting that some of you guys feel like you need to be the strong one. Like, a lot of you feel like maybe you cannot cry. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't let people see weakness in you, because then they'll think that you're weak, and then they might take advantage of you. So the negative pattern that I'm already getting for some of you is that you feel like you can't be vulnerable with people, because if you are, they'll see that and take advantage. Now, the other cards that you got: Two of Wands, Eight of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. Some of you also might have issues committing to making decisions. I'm seeing this person, like, you know, and some of you also might be hypochondriacs, where you're always looking on the internet for what's wrong with you. But as I was saying, some of you have an issue like making decisions and letting go of the other decisions. So like committing to one thing. I'm seeing this man here. He's got his hand on this one. That's a decision he could take, an option. He's got this one behind his back, kind of like a backup plan, or a different option that he could take. And he's got the world in his hands. It's like you might get a little overwhelmed with all of the choices there are, and you're worried about making mistakes. You're worried that if you take a chance on one thing, you'll eventually have to go back to square one and redraw your steps. It's like this person's leaving all of this behind, and it's like you're afraid that if you commit to one thing, you'll waste your time. And it's like he's leaving all of these I'm seeing this as time. Like he's walking away from all this time that feels like he wasted. Now, I know it's hard to make decisions, and you might be a Pisces or a Cancer or a Scorpio, because we water sign people sometimes have difficulty, you know, making decisions, because there are so many different things we could do, and we look at all the options and we're like, well, this one is good like that, and that one is good like that, but if I do this, I can't do that. And then you're like, I want to do it all, but unfortunately, sometimes you have to make decisions. And some of you might say, oh, but you're a Capricorn, Tia, but I'm a Pisces rising, baby. Anyway, and my moon is in the 8th house. But anyway, you also might be a Capricorn. Oh my god, my chillins making so much noise. You might be a Capricorn, Virgo, I already said Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. This is the slowest moving knight in the entire deck. This person, sometimes they take forever. Like I said, they take forever to decide what they want. And these two cards together, I'm seeing as this person is afraid to make mistakes. And that makes you miss opportunities. You cannot always do everything perfectly, and that's okay, my dear. It's okay. You're not meant to make things perfect. You're meant to have experiences so your soul can grow. So, the reason why this pattern is negative is because if you're a perfectionist, if you have an issue making decisions, and if you are so slow to make choices, you always will look back on your life with regret because you didn't make the decision to do things that would make you happy. Sometimes. I mean, like, some people decide to say, single because they're afraid that they're going to get hurt again. Some people are afraid to decide on which school they want to go to because they're afraid they're going to miss out on something at the other school. Some people are afraid to have kids because they're afraid they're going to have an issue as a parent. Maybe they feel like they're not going to be a good parent, and then they decide they don't really make a. Well, now I'm being confusing. I'm sorry. Anyway, I hope that you get the idea. You're gonna have to, and you can always go back and make a different choice. Even if you start down one road and decide that it's not the road for you, you can go back and make another choice. You can't get your time back, obviously, but you can take the lesson and say, okay, now I know I don't want to do that, but I do know what I want, and I want to do this. You know what I mean? Sometimes especially if you're a young person like this person can be like in their early 20s. This is like an older teenager, like 17, 18 to their early 30s. So I kind of feel like you're not that old. And if you feel like you are that old, you still have time. You can make a different choice. But anyway, so the negative pattern that I'm getting for you guys is that some of you are afraid to make choices because you don't want to make mistakes. And some of you are afraid to be vulnerable with people because you don't want to get hurt. And that ruins your life because you don't make the choices that you need to make sometimes. Some of you might be procrastinators too. And that, I know for a fact, can ruin your life because you miss out on so much stuff. Or you don't get where you need to be at the time you need to be there, and then you end up, losing jobs or opportunities or whatever. So I hope that made sense to you guys. I hope I answered the question. Some of you have issues making choices, and some of you are perfectionists, and some of you are also afraid to be vulnerable. And it's okay. You can always change your course, So, if you need a personal reading for more clarity on this, or to see how you can maybe break this pattern, you can contact me through email and I can get on a reading there for you. If you need some of these awesome oils or these awesome crystals, I can I left my link down there in the description box, and you can go check out my shop. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tip, and donate. All of those things help me to continue making videos because it helps me stay motivated. Also, comment below. I will see you guys in the next video. Ta-ta for now.